Warning, the following podcast contains adult language, themes, and situations. Also, the film we're about to talk about is going to be spoiled thoroughly. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
We've seen Nicolas Cage take inspiration from cartoon characters more times than you would think on this show, such as Woody Woodpecker in Raising Arizona, Pinocchio in Never on Tuesday, and of course, Pokey from the Gumby Show for Peggy Sue Got Married. But what if Nick reused that ridiculous voice when, it actually made sense? We're about to find out as we hop into our individual hamster wheels and roll through Disney's first ever live-action computer-animated hybrid film, G-Force.
Okay, let's run.
I'm like a prickly pear.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole! Porker, how'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? Have you ever been dragged to the sidewalk and being until you pissed blood?
Welcome to One Cage at a Time, the show where we break down every single Nicolas Cage movie, one film at a time. Here are your hosts, Patrick, Vince, and Nigel.
A team of genetically engineered super spy guinea pigs and a genius mole are the only ones who could save the world from an evil billionaire. But thanks to government budget cuts, they must first break out of a pet shop, escape the clutches of a teenage future serial killer, and battle an army of sentient home appliances.
Let's meet the stars of the film.
G-Force stars Nick's Matchstick Men co-star and the gift that keeps giving, Sam Rockwell. The man responsible for setting the entire tone of the MCU, Jon Favreau. Job Bluth and BoJack Horseman himself, Will Arnett. British film and stage legend Bill Nighy, as an Australian for some reason. Academy Award winner and Nick's Captain Corelli's mandolin love interest, Penelope Cruz. A man who kind of resembles a guinea pig himself, Zach Galifianakis. The one and only Tracy Morgan. The Marietta Mangler, a.k.a. Garland Green, a.k.a. Steve Buscemi. And, of course, the guy who finally figured out you can do cartoon character voices for actual cartoon characters, Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Kim Coppola, better known as Nicolas Cage.
It's time to go over some of the finer details.
G-Force was released on July 24th, 2009, with a budget of $150 million.
I mean, there was a lot of CG, and it was pretty good. So
Yeah.
And he had a lot of stars.
2009, and it does look pretty cartoony, but it holds up decently enough. I feel like it feels more like, doesn't feel like real guinea pigs, but it feels like,
Passable.
getting close. Yeah.
I think kids would still watch it, even though mine didn't.
Definitely. Your kids didn't like it. Wow.
You didn't give two shits. I kept being like, look, hamsters. She literally spends most of the day watching videos of hamsters instead on YouTube doing mazes and stuff, and couldn't even move the needle.
She's a tough audience. Didn't you say, you said Ant Bully she didn't watch?
She actually watched some of
Crude
Ant
she
Bully.
didn't watch, but
didn't
Ant
watch
Bully she did.
Cruise.
That's the real, we should have her do the review at the end of the...
She's still a little young, I guess. They don't really have an attention span, but I couldn't even get her to watch 10 seconds of the CG guinea pigs. Even when there was an actual hamster in the movie, CG actual hamster, she was still just like, yep.
Yeah, so a budget of $150 million and grossed $292.8 million, which is not amazing for a movie that costs $150 million.
Yeah.
But still,
especially a family movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2009, I feel like that was when theaters were really rolling and doing really well. So it's kind of a surprise that it didn't do better. I mean, it's about, super spy guinea pigs. I don't know. But maybe people were leery of, there's been a lot of, at that point, there had been a lot of attempts to do this kind of thing with CGI animals in movies, and they just looked pretty janky.
Wasn't there that cats and dogs one that had come out? I think it was just called Cats and Dogs or something.
Yeah.
with same thing, same premise.
A lot of like uncanny valley going on with those creatures at that point, but it's since gotten a million times better. I feel like they hold up pretty well.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're watching CG stuff as much as I thought it would be.
Yeah. I mean, obviously cartoony, but it's got to be for, it's a cartoony movie. So, directed by Hoyt Yeatman. Yeet. who is a lifelong visual effects artist and the co-founder of DreamQuest Images, which apparently operated from 1979 to 2001 and did the effects for so many household name movies that I can't even list them. But just a few examples: Blade Runner, Gremlins, Predator, The Abyss keeps coming up. That they actually won an Oscar for the visual effects. Total Recall, The Rock, Con Air, and Armageddon. Heavy hitter when it comes to visual effects, but he had never directed anything before that and has never directed anything since then.
Yeah.
He himself actually won an Academy Award in 1999 for technical achievements for his visual effects studio. G-Force is the only movie that he has ever directed. I don't even know how that happens. I mean, he's apparently a really good friend of Jerry Bruckheimer. And I guess because he came up with the idea for this whole movie, but the story was actually an idea by Yeatman's 5-year-old son.
Sure.
Which his dad liked so much that he pitched it to Jerry Bruckheimer. Then the story was fleshed out by visual effects artist David James. For some reason, he's listed as David P.I. James. So he's either a private investigator or there's a lot of David James working in Hollywood.
Or he's a rapper. P.I. James sounds like a
P.I. James.
It does.
But it's just so funny that the story actually came from a 5-year-old, which makes a lot of sense when you watch the movie.
Yeah.
And then they go and they run in a tire from some dogs.
Then he farts on him. He farts on him again, and then he farts on him one more time.
Daddy, I love Flo Rida. Please play Flo Rida.
Put more Black Eyed Peas. I like Black Eyed Peas. The screenplay was actually written by Cormac and Marianne Wibberley, who are regulars on this show at this point, who have, among other things, written the National Treasure films and, of course, cinematic masterpieces like Charlie's Angel, Full Throttle, and Bad Boys 2.
Only one good film out of that whole. How do you go from writing Bad Boys 2 to writing garbage like this?
Hey, they wrote National Treasure 1 and 2. And the
my
series.
How do you go from writing National Treasure to garbage like this? And I don't even like National Treasure.
There's some moments.
It just kind of feels like everybody was just like, it's a movie about fucking guinea pigs, like dude saving the world. Like, don't try too
Do we
hard.
really have to put much effort into this? No.
No.
I feel like the thought with the studio was that this was just gonna do amazing money no matter what, because it's like cute and funny premise that had been done 4,000 times already at that point.
Yep.
But you
just put Jerry Bruckheimer in charge of organizing everything and give him a check, and that was all pretty much all Disney did, I imagine.
It's very Bruckheimer. This film is, even though it's a kids movie and it's CGI mixed with live action, it is very Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because this would have been around the same time as like I guess this was after the Pirates movies wrapped up. But
yeah, I think the last Pirates was like
thing.
2006 or 2007.
I think 2006 or 7. Yeah. So I think they were kind of hoping
one.
to. Yeah.
And then ironically, Penelope Cruz was in the next Pirates movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
So maybe they were
auditions.
thinking we'll bank off of that. People love dumb movies.
People are stupid. They'll love this. This was shot by Bojan Bazelli. I think that's how you say his name. We talked about this guy before, but he's been working since the 80s. Shot Pumpkinhead back in the day.
Oh, that's right.
King of New York with Christopher Walken. California, that movie where Brad Pitt's a murderer that nobody seemed to like but me, with David Duchovny. Remember that one? The Ring, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and an absolutely horrible film that is nonetheless near and dear to my heart because it's just so goddamn weird. This movie called A Gnome Named Norm.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a masterpiece of just like the creepiest little Muppet ever. And like, it's unsettling but hilarious with Anthony Michael Hall, like during his dark period where nobody heard anything from Anthony Michael Hall after his Rat Pack days to being in the dead zone or whatever. Do yourself a favor, get really stoned and watch that Nightmare Fuel and just enjoy. It's great. It's a masterpiece. Edited by Mark Goldblatt and Jason Hellman. Goldblatt is a James Cameron staple, having done Piranha, The Terminator, T2, and True Lies, but also edited Rambo 2, Showgirls, Starship Troopers, Armageddon, Bad Boys 2, and the worst X-Men movie of all time, X-Men Last Stand. Maybe it's harsh to say that's the worst one.
No, it is. I just rewatched all of them, and that was
the Wolverine a little bit
no,
worse.
that's not true. The Wolverine's good, except for the end. Dark Phoenix is the worst X-Men movie. But of that original collection, yeah, definitely Last Stand.
Yeah, definitely.
Of Wolverine Origins is actually not as bad as I remember it being. It's somehow. This is not Wolverine's Origins show, but Wolverine Origins is somehow better and worse than I remember. But still not as bad as Last Stand.
The ending is bad, like real
yeah,
bad.
Is that the one with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Where he makes his first Deadpool appearance.
Yeah, which he'd been trying to do apparently since he was in Blade 3. He'd been trying to play Deadpool. It was like his audition was playing that character who was sort of like Deadpool in Blade Trinity. Yeah. Anyway, Last Stand, terrible movie, especially for the ending of a trilogy. So which I think makes it worse than the other. So, yeah.
Yeah, it really fell off the cliff on that one. Goldblatt also edited Detroit Rock City with Adam Rifkin. Name that just keeps on coming up. The co-editor, which I don't know how, I'm guessing it was like one person's kind of working on the CG parts of things and editing that, and then one is kind of working on the live action parts. But Jason Hellman has a slightly less prolific resume, but edited Deja Vu, that Denzel Washington movie. The Gray, which I actually really enjoyed with Liam Neeson, and was an assistant editor way back when on Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, my gosh, that guy's got a great resume.
Music by, we all know him, we all love him. The guy who invented the modern-day generic soulless action movie music that Jerry Bruckheimer and Michael Bay have popularized. That's right, I'm talking about Yes guitarist Trevor Rabin, who we have now talked about on 5 separate shows. Though I think the only other collaboration with Cage is Sorcerer's Apprentice, so we're almost out of the Trevor Rabin catalog, sadly. But I'm sure he's going to come back if they make a National Treasure 3. So we'll end up talking about him again.
They might just recycle his movie from the first 2 movies to save his music.
All of his music sounds the same.
Yeah.
It's just might as well. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's all you got to do.
Nailed it.
Ratings, this has a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. 4.4 out of 10 on 128 reviews. That is a healthy sample size. 22%. Only 22% of the critics gave it a 6 or above, which is, deserving. Yeah. Audience score is not much better, 40%. You know, if it's a kid's movie and it's supposed to be fun and it gets a 40%, that it's not a good movie. It's just not. Metacritic score is a 41%. Again,
they're all kind of right around the same.
Yeah, they're all around the same. Interesting.
Yeah. IMDb is slightly more forgiving, 5.1 out of 10. And then the cinema score is a B+.
Ooh.
Which is not good.
Ouch. That's rough.
Overall, pretty harsh reviews on this one. across the board. Most people kind of pointed to the fact that all of the characters just don't seem to be characters. They're just kind of there.
Stereotypes.
Very generic. Even Sam Rockwell, who is like always one of those guys who gives you something amazing, is just pretty flat and boring.
Yeah,
and
there were so many times
archetype
where
hero.
They was just reading a line with no context, and they just stuck it in. You know, it felt like it didn't feel like they were reacting.
Yeah.
It's like they just had him read a whole bunch of lines, and then the editor just stuck them into different places into the movie.
Yeah, it didn't really
Yeah.
feel like
scenes.
that. Yeah.
I don't understand, like, I guess for isolation, but it always is kind of weird to me how they record the lines separately. I think actors really should be in the room together and reacting off of each other, but it's harder to cut that way.
Yeah.
And it's more expensive if you have to have separate sound booths for every person.
Totally. Or just to
But-
record them all, you know, in a room together because it's gonna take longer, I think. So it's just cost more.
That was how Rango was done. Was like they actually went to locations and then they just boom mic'd everybody as they were delivering their lines, and they like acted out the scene together. And I think it was much better results. Wes Anderson does that on his stop motion films that he's been doing as well, which I think definitely gives it a more natural and more authentic feel. Whereas these movies, every movie that we've done so far, the actors were all in the sound booth separately.
Yeah, that's weird.
Every one of the animated films that we've done so far.
I just went to the Comic-Con I went to this last weekend. I got autographs from basically the two cast members from the show The Bad Batch, because one of them plays all the clones in the Clone Wars and Bad Batch and Rebels and everything, and the other one is she plays the girl in the show that's like part of the group, and she's like the emotional core of the show. And even she was like, I was talking to her and she's like, yeah, when I'm recording this stuff, it's just like me in a room by myself, so when I come to things like this, it's so surreal to see like actual fans that actually come out and feel like, oh yeah, I'm part of the Star Wars like universe, basically, because to me it's just, you know, recording stuff by myself. I'm like, man, even with that, you got two people on that show basically doing 95% of it, and it's still just like one person recording in a room at a time.
What's the name of the guy that does all the males?
D. Bradley Baker.
Okay.
He does a shitload of everything else.
Yeah, he does a ton of stuff. Yeah.
Surprised she wasn't like, this is the first time I've met my co-stars.
I mean, I'm sure they met at a celebration thing, but yeah, like maybe they do. Well, she lives in New Zealand too, so it's extra like.
Oh wow. Yeah. So that's even
like
more
they had to
isolated.
fly her out, so they probably don't just like, because all the other voice actors just live in LA basically and hang out and have orgies, I'm guessing. And stuff. But yeah, I was
That's
really
how
shocked.
Hollywood works.
I wasn't even expecting her to be at that con, and I'm super excited that she was, because I got both of them to sign a specific Bad Batch poster that I got at Celebration that was exclusive to it.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's like priceless now to me. But she was really nice, and yeah, that was just what she said was kind of weird. Was like, it's so strange coming to this stuff and realizing like. You know, people actually like me and think that I'm part of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember I'm part of Star Wars when I'm just recording stuff in a booth.
Yeah. It's got to be a cool experience.
Yeah.
How about a Coppola quick facts?
Coppola quick facts here. I only have a very few, but I'll kick it off with the one I mentioned earlier is director Hoyt Yeatman's son, Hoyt Yeatman the Fourth. Oh my God, why carry that
Four
on?
people named Hoyt? Why?
Hoyt Yeatman the Fourth. Put that on your Tinder profile.
Okay.
Came up with the original idea for the film when he was 5 years old. Yeatman liked his son's story so much that he brought it to producer Jerry Bruckheimer, and the rest is history. It's just, I mean, what was that story? What was he saying? Like, yeah, guinea pigs, like super spies. That's it.
Yeah, like maybe they had a guinea pig and he liked to tell stories about
Yeah.
the guinea pig doing interesting things because they're so not interesting.
Yeah.
And then he threw it at a snake.
There's a lot of moments in this movie. It's like, okay, how much of the story was actually there from this 5-year-old, or was it literally just super spy guinea pigs?
I wonder whose idea it was to throw the little serial killer teenager into the movie.
Bruckheimer.
This was Disney's first ever live action computer animation hybrid film.
That's weird.
But
That is hard
like,
to believe.
To be fair, like Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yeah.
all those types of movies kind of already had done this.
Yeah,
but
you'd done the tech. I guess this is probably just the first time where it was
overtly,
predominantly CGI shots,
Yeah.
and then they had to splice in live action.
I think a lot of the like whole third act was done in a computer. It is a healthy portion of the film.
Yeah.
This was Jon Favreau's first time working with Disney, crazily. But he was acting in this, but he ended up, doing his Jungle Book movie, his remake of the Jungle Book, which did really well for Disney, and then the Lion King live action version from 2019. But now he's like a full-on Disney card-carrying member with the MCU joining Disney. But like when he was doing Iron Man, and Star Wars, of course, the Mandalorian was his baby, really. When he did Iron Man 1 and 2, that had nothing to do with Disney at that point. That was pre-merger or pre-acquisition. So it's kind of crazy that this was the first time he ever worked with Disney, and now he is like he's one of their guys, the brain behind everything at Disney. I feel like this happens so much where it's like a brilliant person comes in and contributes something that does really well, and then they stretch them so thin that there's no way that they can ever create anything good after that.
Look at
because like Favreau's been stretched thin with like all of these Disney Plus TV shows, and then like Kevin Feige masterpiece throughout the first like 3 phases, and then things started to fall apart really quickly once he got tapped to like they wanted him to come over and do Star Wars, and they were like pulling him in every direction for 500 Disney Plus
he's like
series.
the creative director for all of Marvel now too, including comics and everything. It's just like
It's too much. Is he supposed to create anything good?
Right. And that guy he likes movies. That's his main thing, is he likes making movies. He just happened to get a job working at Marvel making movies because he was working for the Richard Donner's company stuff, and they were producers for the X-Men movies and stuff. And then he just, he saw the potential in, I mean, this is not like a Kevin Feige show, but he saw the potential in comic book stories being adapted to film because he loves film so much. And so the fact that they like stretched him thin over all these TV shows and like working directly as a Marvel supervisor and stuff, it's just like, I'm sure he took it on because he likes the work, but it doesn't seem like you shouldn't do that to people that
they're seeing level. The cost of that now.
Keep them where they're good.
We saw the same thing happen with Taika Waititi, where it was like Taika Waititi was churning out gold, and then they started like tapping him for everything, and then he made Love and Thunder, and now suddenly he's like persona non grata. Like nobody even wants to work with him. I don't know. It's crazy. But
same thing's gonna happen like over at the DCU or the DECU or whatever the fuck.
I hope not, but
it's gonna happen. They're gonna stretch him thin over there. Yeah.
There's no way James Gunn can keep up with the demand that DC's going to throw at him eventually.
They're desperate to
because he's a filmmaker first and foremost, and now they're having him run a bunch of production stuff basically. And it's like, I guess it remains to be seen if he's good at it, but it's not the same kind of situation where Kevin Feige is a great producer because he likes making movies and having stuff, but he's not the filmmaker aspect of it. James Gunn's a great filmmaker. Remains to be seen if he could do a giant production role like that, and run an entire universe.
Yeah, we'll see. If that first Superman film falls flat, then we know they're going to reboot it again.
I think a Superman movie would be good.
And then the final quick fact is, coincidentally, weirdly, this was one of 2 movies released in 2009 to feature both Nicolas Cage and Bill Nighy, with the other being our next film, Astro Boy. I will say Bill Nighy is ever so slightly less over the top in Astro Boy, and it's kind of like the emotional, the moral compass of the film in general. I love Bill Nighy, but he can be really over the top, which he was in this movie.
All right, it's time to break down the film one scene at a time. Act 1. Why don't we set some shit up?
Our story begins with the Disney and Brockheimer film logo, But this time it's accompanied by Jon Favreau's character Hurley running down the road in the logo, presumably being chased by Memphis Reigns in Eleanor. Surprisingly, this bit isn't accompanied by a fart joke like every other freaking scene that Hurley appears in throughout the film. And unfortunately, Memphis doesn't turn Hurley into a red skid mark to prevent us from having to deal with said fart jokes that are to come here pretty quick.
Yeah. Gonna come in hot and stinky.
If they did a sequel, that's what the tagline should have been: hot and stinky.
Hot and stinky.
We cut to a gigantic guinea pig in human clothing. No, wait, that's just Zach Galifianakis' character, Ben, who tells Darwin, the head spy guinea pig, played by Sam Rockwell, that the feds are going to shut down their program tomorrow.
Fucking feds.
Those feds, man.
They say it a bunch of times.
They say it like
The
40
feds.
times.
Yeah.
I know. It's just poor screenwriting.
Yeah. The feds.
Anyways, Ben opens an old briefcase that has some sort of Iron Man hologram projector in it, and he begins a Mission Impossible style objective brief. Their target is a billionaire named Leonard Saber, who is a former arms dealer who currently runs a company called Saberling Industries that has produced a new microchip with possible military applications, and that he sold the technology to the Far East under the codename Clusterstorm.
Feels vaguely racist to say the Far East.
Yeah, I thought that too. Like, I guess you're trying not to single out a specific country,
guess,
but it's also
yeah.
like
Well, I mean, like, if you
just
like,
sold it to the whole region, I guess. All of them
Yeah.
over there.
it is weird that they wouldn't specify a country, but I mean, in intelligence speak, you do break them into sectors. You have like Far East, Far West, all that stuff. So, but it's, you know, they needed this movie to do well in China. And that's all we
Yeah.
say. In China.
That's always what it seems to boil down to, especially lately. Is like since box office numbers have dwindled, China is one of the main places where you get your money from the worldwide release of these types of things. Animated films are so easy to release worldwide.
Yeah.
Not this one in particular because it actually has actors in it, but anything animated, you can just change the mouth movements to match any language. So, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird exposition right at the start of a kids movie. I feel like kids are just going to check out immediately when this starts.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't even follow along what the hell they were talking about.
I tuned it out, to be honest. I didn't come back in until like 5 minutes later mentally. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm watching this movie. Unfortunately, the name Clusterstorm is revealed through an uncomfortably close shot of Zach Galifianakis' mouth, which looks like a Wolverine's asshole. Or a walrus asshole. Either one. I don't know about you guys, but I was expecting a clusterstorm of dingleberries in that thing.
Now they'd be crunch berries.
Tomato.
Just eating Captain Crunch and everything. Put the bowl down, Zach. We're trying to film.
I was in The Hangover. How did I get here?
Oh, man. Ben goes on to say their mission is to download the Clusterstorm files from Saber's personal computer, and Darwin swears he'll get the evidence and save their program, and the FBI will have to make a bunch of rodents special agents. Because that's how that works.
It's already ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're going to shut down the youth center if we don't raise a bunch of money. Same plot device.
Inside Saber's ultra secure home, we see he's having an Epstein Island style get together with loads of trust fund babies. Darwin repels from a tree and radios Speckles, who's revealed to be a Charlie Bodell from Peggy Sue Got Married in mole form. I can't say rat because Nigel will get mad at me.
I was expecting this to be a naked mole rat the whole time, and based on what you guys had said, and I was like, no, it's just a regular mole.
Star-nosed mole.
Yeah, star-nosed. That's why he does the voice, because the nose is squished.
Probably, yep.
That's what I took from it. Anyways, that's right. Nick Cage plays a mole, and does the exact same voice he stole from Pokey on the Gumby Show in 1986 for a different film.
You think that? I feel knowing Nick Cage, that was 100% his choice. Nobody else does a weird voice.
No.
Yes, and I actually heard that he. I'm not sure if he was up for the role of Darwin, and that's why they said it. But they said that he refused to play a guinea pig. He didn't want to play a guinea pig. He wanted to play the mole instead. He was like, "No, I'm not playing that. I'm not doing that."
He's like, I had the perfect voice for a mole. I got nothing for a guinea pig.
I can see it being like moles are noble creatures. They aerate the soil and they're important for gardens. And they keep the pest population down. Guinea pigs are just food.
I got a mole in my backyard, and I call him Dugan.
He's my friend. Now I could see him like. I think what probably happened was he was tapped for Darwin, and he was like, "Well, I don't just want to play a normal generic person if I'm going to do this, cartoon thing. I don't want to be the hero. I want to be the goofy one, so I can do something fun for me."
Yeah,
finally going to do a cartoon character voice.
Yeah,
or a cartoon character.
Which, like, he doesn't really do a voice that's different from his own in The Croods, The Ant Bully, Astro Boy, Teen Titans, sort of in Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, and then we have The Croods too. And he doesn't really do a cartoon character in any of those. Same with Christmas Carol. It was like, it's just his voice. Like, why do a cartoon if you're not going to do a character?
Yeah.
But
maybe he tried and they said no.
I mean, it could be they're like, we wanted, we hired you because you're Nick Cage.
So we wanted Nick Cage. Give us Nick Cage.
This one, it was probably like, he'd already worked with Bruckheimer and, not the director, because the director didn't work with anybody else, but, it was probably like, hey, you know me, let me do a voice. I'll be good.
I'm guessing this was probably somewhat a favor of like, well, I want to work with Nick again. Well, let's bring him into this thing. And Nick was like, I'll do it, but
hear me out. Have you seen Peggy Sue Got Married?
I think it's his. I haven't seen I haven't seen Astro Boy yet.
I don't know if we want to do that for this cartoon.
I haven't seen his other animated stuff, but this is like the best animation voice he's done that I've seen. I don't know if it's like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seemed like he actually wanted to do it, cared, gave a good performance. It's good.
It gave something to the character, too.
Yeah.
I felt like it was the only character, like the animated characters, that actually had a personality in it. A lot of it came from the voice. Because everybody else said that their normal voice, and it was like very flat readings, flat performances. He was the only one. And I guess Steve Buscemi, but again, it was just Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, it's Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, if we hadn't watched 50 Nicolas Cage movies by now, I may have not even have known this was Nicolas Cage until the credits rolled.
Yeah.
Same.
If I was just watching this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. It does not sound like Nick Cage at all.
No.
The only time it sort of sounds like Nick is during the Yashu scenes.
Yeah.
Spoilers. But
yeah.
We see two more guinea pigs named Juarez and Blaster arrive via those thunderball things from The Rock. At least Jerry Bruckheimer is consistent. Speckles asks if Darwin wants to abort the mission since they're behind schedule, but Darwin says he's trained for this, which prompts Speckles to say, I'd follow you into a snarling pack of Dobermans, which I'm not going to do the voice, but is definitely the cagiest delivery of a completely innocuous line I've ever heard.
Snarly pack of Dobermans. He does that a lot. I don't know why. That just in his mind is how moles talk.
I guess. Darwin says he spotted his way into the compound, and in his night vision goggles, we see a car driven by a hot girl, and I think Richard Gere. I mean, I'm just saying, eventually you have to find something bigger than a gerbil, and a guinea pig is the natural next step. I mean, at least that's what I've heard. And we've been sued. Blaster watches Juarez shake the water off her fur, and it's clear he wants to give her his blaster. So, we set up some sexual tension between two guinea pigs within the first 5 minutes of this children's film that we're watching. It's not creepy at all.
Yeah, a lot of sexual tension between these guinea pigs throughout the film.
Yeah. Speckles radios to Mooch, who happens to be a housefly with a camera attached to him, then to Darwin, who is using a blowtorch to cut open an air duct while singing, "Don't you wish your blowtorch was hot like mine?" Like, do we really got to do this one, guys? Like, I mean, is anyone actually asking us to do G-Force? It's not
we
like
we
National
gotta do
Treasure.
them all, man.
We chose this for ourselves.
We said we would do every single one of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So here
Even
we
that.
are.
I did think it was clever that the fly was named Mooch, though, because French word for fly is mouche.
Yep.
So
Yep. Which they pointed out in the in the little behind the scenes thing.
Oh, did they?
Same with the Yanshu thing being
Yeah.
mole in Japanese or whatever.
Chinese.
Chinese.
The Chinese audience.
Yeah, for the
So,
same
so the Chinese audience would have figured it out immediately, and they probably changed it to something else.
Yeah, probably. It just would have changed it to mole.
Yeah, Mr. Mole.
Mr. Mole. Bill Nighy, a.k.a. Leonard Saber, gives us a super over-the-top performance to his invited guest, thanking them for helping Saberling become the largest consumer electronics brand in the world. He tells them his company has been secretly putting a microchip into every product they sell and will eventually allow them all to communicate with one another. Okay. He says we will activate the chips in exactly 48 hours, uniting every Saberling product on Earth, and nothing will be the same. Which I'm guessing Bezos has the same plan. You just got to beat Temu to the punch.
Yeah, remember when this was like sci-fi
Yeah.
and kind of unrealistic and a joke?
Not
Yeah.
anymore.
Now they're all listening to us all the time.
Hey, watch us on YouTube, FBI. I mean, the feds. The feds are listening through the phone, not through YouTube.
It's never the government. It's just the companies that are trying to figure out how to sell us more shit.
I mean, my boss was telling me his oven has a screen that plays video on it.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
Like,
Yeah, they're all smart devices now. My washer and dryer send me text messages.
What do they say?
my car
Are
does
they
too.
romantic? You up?
Want to go for a spin? Cycle.
I'm soaking wet right now.
All of that sounds hotter
Put
than
your
what I
load
actually
inside
get.
of me.
Put your load
All right.
inside.
All right. All right. This is a child's movie. This is a child's movie. Okay, let's give All right. Darwin makes it to Saber's study and shuts off the gas to a fireplace by clapping. And we get to the first clue that Speckles might be a mole or a rat or whatever when he menacingly says, "Nothing happens inside this house without me knowing about it. Nothing." Also, I'm pretty sure that's what Bezos says too. He's going to need to readjust those goggles when the eyes wide shut part of the party kicks off here in a minute. God damn it.
See Bill Nighy naked, wearing a mask. in a
James
second.
Franco will show up with
James Franco.
some other the chick from American Beauty or whatever she was in.
He's all looking at him. You fucked me. I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard. Mama says you gotta pay extra. Anyways, Darwin hacks into Saber's computer and Speckles warns him that Saber is headed to the study. On the computer, Darwin sees a map of all the Saber products being activated by Clusterstorm, and somehow he leaps to the conclusion that this is all about global extermination.
Yeah, how does the map turning red just clue him that?
Because
it's
red's
like-
bad.
Yes. Maybe there's information there that we're not seeing. I don't know, but that
I
doesn't
could never
seem like
tell if
would
it was
tell you what's
supposed to
going
be
on.
like exterminating all rodents in the world, which would be thematic to the movie, or if it was like he's just going to kill every person on the planet. That type,
His
that
goal was to
extermination.
drive all of humanity underground.
Right,
Yeah.
which we reveal later. But at this point, I was like, oh, are they trying to, when they use the word extermination, I was like, are they trying to exterminate all the rodents or not? Maybe left vague on purpose.
I don't really understand how it would drive all the humans underground because you're going to run out of space junk pretty quickly.
Yeah. He's a mole. They're stupid.
No, he's a genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius mole.
He's a genius for a mole.
Don't call him a rat. Darwin tries to download the files, but an encryption code pops on the screen, prompting Speckles to say he's going to use a worm to decipher it since he's a mole and has a thing for worms. This is the kind of stuff
eating a worm.
Yeah, while eating one. This is the kind of stuff a 5-year-old would come up with if they were writing a story. Oh wait, never mind. Makes sense.
Still better.
You got a thing for moles.
Still better than
Serve
USS
worms.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's true. I did enjoy
God.
this more than USS Indianapolis.
Yeah, I still got to screen cap that pile of garbage. Darwin tells Mooch, the housefly, to distract Saber, so he flies up his nose, and we get a fun little POV of Bill Nye swatting at the fly. Probably should have been set to Yakety Sack. Darwin hides in the fireplace, and we see that the sexual tension guinea pigs are on the chimney waiting to drop a line down to him. Darwin nearly gets roasted by the fire when Saber claps his hands, since any Bruckheimer film is contractually obligated to show a fireball or explosion within the first 10 minutes. I was like, did Michael Bay direct this film?
It does feel like another Michael Bay movie, you know?
It does. It's
And
got
even like the color
grade
palette.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
Just something about it.
Is that Bay or is that Bruckheimer? We don't know anymore because they're just one
They're
mesh
basically.
person.
I feel like Michael Bay copied everything that Bruckheimer did and then just made it dumb. That's all. Just dumbed it down completely.
Oh, shit.
Because there are some Bruckheimer movies that are actually good.
Yeah.
But there are no Michael Bay movies that are good. There's one that I like called The Rock, but the rest of them, not so much.
Yeah, true. The guinea pigs and Speckles start to head towards an extraction point, but Speckles is stopped by a Doberman, which prompts him to say, "Oh no! Oh,
Technically, oh my god. Oh my god. Or something.
oh my joke!"
I keep subtitles
Yeah.
on for this reason, but
He has a weird, like,
yeah.
thing that he does a bunch of times in it.
I think they recycle the exact same sound clip later on because there's two oh my gods and
Yeah,
they're both they both are they sound exactly the same.
Yeah. The guinea pigs parachute off the roof, and Blaster kicks the dog in the head, allowing Darwin to rescue Speckles. On the way out of the compound, a rat catcher van pulls up, and the four of them are sprayed with some sort of gas, much to their collective surprise. It turns out it was just Ben, though, so I guess that somehow makes any of that make sense, I guess. I don't know. Ben is excited.
There's like exterminator written on the building and stuff, and then he drives
Yeah.
around in this exterminator van, but like he's showing up to this party
In the middle of the night.
in the middle of the night to spray these rodents and then grab them and drive off. Like that would be way more conspicuous than just pulling up in a Corolla and driving
Yeah.
off with them.
Ben is excited when he hears they got the files, and Blaster yells, G-Force! He says they need a name like the Green Berets, so he suggests G-Force, even though 2 of the 5 members aren't guinea pigs. Racist. Or speciest, I guess.
Yeah, the mole doesn't even get included in the name of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about the fly? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Though they have to change that fly out every 3 days, I think.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Right. So. We cut to the next day where Ben and his open mouth assistant prepare to give a presentation to the feds while Speckles busily does some fancy hacking on a nondescript card of some sort they call PDA, containing the files from Saber's computer. This is a kid's movie, so it's fine to, make up all the technology every character interacts with throughout the entire film.
Every bit of technology in this is made up fake technology. Like even when Saber's doing his presentation, it's like these hologram things all throughout the party.
Yeah.
There's a reason why nobody's done that technology. It's because you can see through it and you can't read what you're looking at. But every single like futuristic thing has that in there.
Yeah. Ben asks Speckles how much longer it would take to decode the files, and Speckles says, to access the information on Darwin's PDA, I have to factor a univariate polynomial, Jesus Christ, of refinite fields.
He just says a bunch of
I think
random
it was
gobbledygook.
he mispronounced
to, like,
polynomial.
Yeah.
But like,
Polynomial.
he'd not even seen the word before himself, so he was just like reading it weird.
Yeah.
Polynomial.
But of
I think
course,
it
it's
was
in a
just-
very cagey delivery.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to like get Ben to stop watching what he was doing. Spoilers for later in the film, but he was just saying a bunch of tech jargon to like make him go, "Oh, okay, oh, whatever, just do your thing," and then leave him alone.
Again, yeah. Anyways, never mind. We don't need to dive deep into the film.
Yeah, G-force.
G-force. We cut to Blaster. We cut to Blaster playing Dance Dance Revolution as Lady Gaga blasts in the background while Juarez posts on Facebook. Everybody remember 2009? Darwin asked Juarez if she meant what she said when she blurted out during their ultra secret mission over the radio comms that she was interested in Darwin, and she says she's actually interested in Blaster.
Kids will love it.
It's just an Eiffel Tower between all the three guinea pigs later on.
The feds arrive at Ben's weird animal invested warehouse on the docks or wherever this is supposed to be. And Will Arnett's character, Killian, is a dick immediately and isn't impressed in the slightest that Ben has managed to train cockroaches to do whatever he says or that he found a way to talk to guinea pigs. In a quick line of dialogue, Ben explains that Speckles' whole family was exterminated, so it's lucky they found him. Then Speckles reveals what they found on the computer, which doesn't match up with what Darwin saw the night before.
Yeah, it's just
Speckles-
a coffee machine and no
Yeah.
information about Cluster Storm whatsoever.
Yep.
Which is still like, they were able to sneak into the guy's place and steal this information directly from his computer. You'd think the FBI would at least be interested in that.
Yeah. Nope. Not the
No.
feds.
It's just a guinea pig playing a video game, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's not
Who
impressive.
cares?
And talking.
You see that shit all the time, dude. Speckles says this is all they have, and Killian has had enough of this groundbreaking, beyond all fucking imagination bullshit and shuts down the entire operation. He tells his men to cage anything that moves, prompting Speckles to say, "Cage? Oh no!" Get it? Cage saying cage.
I think that was intentional.
I think so too, yeah.
One time it could be a
Cage.
slip up, but he does it 2 or 3 times right
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, they say
No
cages.
cages, no cages.
Yeah.
I hope that's what he said while he was being crushed by the garbage truck.
It does. He uses the same soundbite. I told you.
Yeah.
I think he specifically says like, "Cage, oh no!" I think that's what the first outburst here. I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
No one likes Cage. This.
The guinea pigs decide they need to escape before they're used as guinea pigs. And they shoot out of the lab in those tubes you used to use to send the teller your checks at the bank. You guys remember those?
Yeah.
Does it still exist?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always thought
Do
they
they?
were super cool when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
I tried to
Like,
put
why
a
wish I had these in my
action figure.
house? I could like transport stuff from one room to the other.
That'd be
Remember it was in Tommy Boy and like his shirt got blown off by it. And it's like a pneumatic tube or something like that. I forget.
Yeah.
I bet you at least
Those were
one
cool.
person's been killed by those things.
I hope so.
Bet you at least one person's been killed by those things or
Oh,
seriously.
God, I
damaged.
hope so, dude. Otherwise, what a waste of an invention. Ben's open mouth assistant takes Speckles' spectacles, and he's terrified to be leaving the lab without them. Did you guys notice that? Her mouth is open the entire film. She never shuts it. She's always just,
Who?
She's got Kristen
Ben's
Stewart disease.
yeah, Ben's assistant in the film.
Oh, yeah. The one that sort of looks like the chick from American Beauty,
Yeah.
who I thought it was for the entire movie until the end. And I saw her name in the credits.
Really?
I was like, yeah.
That's fucking
Mina
funny.
Suvari is just
Yeah.
slumming it as random
That's
assistant
what I thought.
number
I was
4.
like, oh, Mina Suvari's in this. And then, like, nope, not. It's just some other actress who's been in like 4 things.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why she didn't get more acting gigs.
G-Force all escape into a pet store delivery truck that was dropping off roaches or whatever at the lab. Seems like the first thing the FBI would have searched, but, you know, whatever. They jump into a cage, but Speckles screams, "No, not the cage. I don't do cages." But Darwin forces him in anyways. One of Killian's men calls and says all the animals escaped, and Killian says he wants them all back, dead or alive. But again, no one thinks to, search the pet store truck, filled with animals.
It's a bit of a plot hole.
Yeah.
But whatever. There are many in this film.
Yeah. I mean, they eventually catch on and go check the pet store, but
Yeah.
they sort of just let it leave from an active scene that they're cordoning off.
Yeah. We see a caption that says there are 29 hours left until Clusterstorm launches as G-Force arrives at a pet shop. Some apathetic clerk puts the animals in with another guinea pig named Hurley and a hamster named Bucky, played by Steve Buscemi. Bucky tells them all to stay off his turf while Hurley appears from under some wood shavings and farts. Get used to that, folks. He's a real one-note character, and that one note is... After he sharts himself, Hurley says, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning." He calls the hamsters a ferret, which really pisses him off. Darwin rallies the team to look for an escape route while I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas plays for the second time in like 25 minutes, so get used to that as well.
Yeah, it's my favorite R. Kelly song. Right?
While you're holding a baby. Come on. Come on now.
Oh, I thought it was from the Black Eyed Peas.
Jesus
Not the
Christ.
Black Eyed Peas.
The Black Eyed
God
Peas.
damn it, dude. God damn it. Anyways. They realize they're trapped, but spot Mooch on the top of the cage, who they ask to tell Ben their location. So he flies away while almost being eaten by a chameleon and a load of Venus flytraps. That I guess count as pets at this store?
Why are there Venus flytraps there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
Keep pests down.
I guess. In the pet store.
Yeah.
Act 2, The Conflict.
We cut to the Los Angeles FBI headquarters where we see Sean Archer screaming, "The guinea pigs haven't been recovered yet!" at Margaret Cho. Wait. That's a different version of the LA FBI headquarters. Ben's assistant picks him up and he says that he has an idea of how to get the files G-Force downloaded off of the PDA or whatever that fake thing is. We cut back to the pet shop. Like the PDA thing, it fits into a slot on like everybody's computer that it seems like everybody has this technology.
Yeah.
It's like an SD card. It's not a
Yeah.
PDA. It's not
Couldn't
a personal
just
assistant.
Do an SD card or a USB drive
Apparently
or something. We cut back to the pet shop and we see Blaster lighting Hurley's fart. That's 2 for 2 already on farts per scene. He's had like 30 seconds of screen time and he's farted twice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the lit fart doesn't blow open the cage or kill all of us watching the movie. And Darwin decides that they should all just try to get adopted. Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's how you get out of the situation. 5 seconds later, a family arrives, prompting another stupid Black Eyed Peas song to start. A little girl spots... What?
They're just jealous that this movie's so 2008 and we're so 2000 and late.
God.
I'm dumb you have to be to put a date in a song like that, too. You immediately date your song a year after it comes out.
Well, the Black Eyed Peas are not really with us anymore. Thank God.
R.I.P.
Hey, do you remember Will.i.am was in X-Men Origins?
Oh my God, that's right.
A little girl spots Speckles, and her dad says he's a hideous crime against nature, which is pretty messed up to say about a cute little animal, but, whatever. She says she wants a hamster, which makes Bucky, Steve Buscemi's character, excited, but of course she meant she wants a guinea pig, since she's a stupid idiot who doesn't know the difference. The guinea pigs are the ones that we need the Peruvian flute bands to protect us from, you moron. God, read a book. Oh, fuck. She picks Juarez, and the teenage kid of the family picks out Hurley and then throws him across the store with a lacrosse stick into a snake enclosure. What the fuck, dude? What a goddamn psychopath. We've had like 2 movies in a row with a little Sid from Toy Story prototype.
Murdered it. Why would the snake pen even be open?
I don't know.
I
Well,
know
it
he
was
doesn't
like the
land
one
in it.
next to it.
Yeah, but like he was obviously throwing him at the snake, so the implication is that the snake pen was open, but
Yeah.
the snake would just get out.
He picks up Blaster and then he stuffs a firecracker up his ass. No, wait, no, he gets stopped before he can torture Blaster to death by the store clerk who puts him in a carrier. Just was expecting that.
Yeah.
Oh man!
By a little fire, Scarecrow.
That would have happened eventually.
Yeah. The family leaves with half of G-Force while Darwin and Speckles try to figure out how to escape. Back at the FBI, Killian seems to find some validity in what G-Force told him about Saber, and he tries to get a search warrant, but the FBI director says he can't without probable cause. It's like, I have some problems with this because like the FBI director acts like Killian is a complete moron later on. And he's like,
Yeah.
well, I tried, but you shot me down. But at the same time, it's like, well, you didn't have any evidence, which you didn't get from G-Force. So, like, how is this Killian's fault? I don't know. We cut to that little girl playing dress up with Juarez, while I'm guessing Sid has already fed Blaster to the neighbor's pit bull. At the pet store, Speckles plays dead, and Niecy Nash from Reno 911 fame suddenly pops into the movie to be disgusted and screams things in Spanish for some reason. She works in a pet store and she's disgusted by all things pets.
Yeah,
And she screams Spanish.
And she's Hispanic for some reason.
She's Hispanic for some reason.
Maybe she is in real life. I don't know.
No, she's not. She's not. I looked it up specifically to make sure.
Okay, so we can
I
make
think
fun
they
of
were
it.
trying to say she might be like Haitian or Dominican, maybe.
Maybe.
Haitians, they
But
speak
why?
French.
I don't know.
So,
I mean, they speak the language of love, baby, and revolution.
The other clerk picks Speckles up with a plastic bag and chucks him in the back of a garbage truck where he's immediately smashed into mold jelly. Seems like a waste of Nicolas Cage's talents to kill him off in the first 30 minutes into the film, but I guess the Wibberleys just needed a name for the poster. So I guess we could just quickly wrap this one up and move on. Next up, we'll be talking about Astro Boy. Oh, wait, he comes back? God damn it.
James needs us to update the tracker.
Fuck.
Update the tracker.
Anyways, Darwin is crushed at the thought of his old pal being crushed. Or he's just upset that he's stuck in a cage with a guinea pig who shits himself all day. Either way, things are looking pretty bleak at this point. He's not like, there's really no emotion whatsoever. Like, it's just so flat. And like, I don't know. Maybe they struggled to get they like have him be sad later on.
Right.
Especially like when Hurley lets him down, you see his sadness. But like in this scene, it's kind of like one of his oldest best friends just died in his eyes. And he's just kind of like, all right, on to the next.
Like, let's
Kids
carry on.
movie can't get too emotional, I guess.
We see Ben and his assistant send a roach into the lab with a camera on its head, where he's joined by thousands of other roaches who crawl all over the FBI agents guarding the place, which distracts them long enough for one of the roaches to steal that PDA thing. Dude trained roaches to do whatever he says. He's the next Hank Pym, but that's not good enough for the FBI to maintain his funding. It's just, yeah, amazing, but no. We can talk to animals now. Think of the implications of being able to talk to animals.
It's like one of the most important breakthroughs in scientific discovery in the history of the world.
But no.
Eh.
He's playing a video game. I don't get it. Who
I want
cares?
to talk to rodents.
Why would we want to talk to anything?
Doolittle now.
Back at the pet shop, Hurley notices a birthmark on Darwin's butt and decides they must be brothers since he has the same birthmark in the same spot. But I'm pretty sure that was just from the fireplace, right? Was that the joke? Was that supposed to be the
I don't
joke,
know.
or was he
I
actually
thought it was
supposed to have a
literal.
birthmark?
I don't know. I couldn't figure out what they were trying to
Yeah,
tell
I forgot
us.
because his butt was on fire. Then.
Yeah, because he got burnt. Yeah.
But it's like a
Yeah.
white birthmark. It would be all like black and scorched if it was the fire. But yeah, maybe.
I mean, just if it got the outer bits of hair, maybe. I don't know. That's what I thought it was like.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
He's not
until now.
actually brothers with Hurley, but
It
Hurley
makes sense
thinks he
because
is.
Hurley just really wants family, so he would see that.
He should be in the Fast and the Furious series then.
God, can you
Surprised
can you think
Jon Favreau hasn't shown up
in the Fast and the Furious movies.
He can cook for all of those
He
little
just-
cookouts at the.
They're speeding down a highway, and he's in a food truck.
He's in a food truck. Dom, you got to get your protein in. Come on.
Tacos? Want some tacos? Darwin says there's no way they could be related, and this time Hurley is crushed like a mole in a garbage truck. That Darwin is disgusted at the idea that they could be brothers. He's known him for 3 seconds. Like, what?
I mean, the dude did shit himself twice in 30 seconds. Can you blame him?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be brothers with that guy.
Yeah.
We briefly cut away to Ben and his assistant finding out the PDA is infected with an extermination virus before cutting back to Darwin discovering Bucky has been hoarding food in his little hamster home. This whole virus thing, so like he put a worm or something on this PDA that would erase all the information, I guess. Is what we're supposed to get, but I don't understand how that would infect other machines when you put it on to other things. I don't think that's really how that works unless you open it. I don't know.
Maybe that's what they were going to do.
Fake,
I thought they were going to like put the PDA in and then open the virus up on that computer and then have that upload to everything. The thing with the whatever it is.
I think that's
Link.
what the end is supposed to be, is like the virus infected all of the machines and they're all dead all at the same time, which seems like a huge security issue.
Yeah, it seems like it wouldn't work given what we know about who's behind everything.
Yeah. While angrily explaining he hoarded food out of fear Hurley would eat it all, which I guess actually feels pretty realistic, Bucky opens a trapdoor in the cage, which prompts Darwin to say, "My friend Speckles got crushed in a garbage truck and you said nothing about this." So like he's had this trapdoor, so the hamster's been escaping every night and going and stealing food from other areas of the pet store, I guess. And
but then
never ate in front of
his
Hurley.
Food is stashed on top of the trapdoor? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Like, how does that work?
It just was funny for him to lose all of his food at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
Darwin says, "I'm out of here," and Hurley tells him not to worry about him and to just go before just coming along anyway. When Bucky the asshole hamster pushes him out of the cage. We cut to Leonard Saber talking to some mystery person named Mr. Yanshu who wants to remain anonymous. Who could that be?
4chan.
Yeah.
It's just Q. QAnon. Saber says they have a lot riding on this and has put his trust into Yanshu's engineering skills. So I guess this billionaire entrusted his entire company and fortune to some scammer on the internet who probably catfished him into sending his mom's life savings as well. That or pictures of his butthole, aka Zach Galifianakis' mouth.
Who hasn't fallen for one of those Nairobi and Prince emails? Like,
Yeah. Mr. Yanshu.
I know I have.
I mean, I'm guessing it must have been like a big influx of cash, but where would Speckles get that? But he is a hacker, so I guess.
Probably hacked the bank, dude, because he's so good at hacking.
It's true. Polynomial. Remember
mean,
all that science talk?
If this movie was like 2 years later, it would have been crypto that he had all the money from. He's the one who invented
Speckles is a crypto bro.
Yeah,
He's the one that founded FTX.
Yeah, he's the one that created Bitcoin or whoever. He's Mr.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Nagasaki or whatever the
Nagasaki.
mysterious person's name is.
Yeah. The next morning, Mooch the fly tries to wake up Ben by landing on his face while probably covered in shit. Eventually, Ben wakes up and the fly tells him where G-Force is being held thanks to flying from one key to the other on his computer. Ben says he was so worried about him, and I don't like when my fly is down. Kill me. Just kill me. At the pet shop, we see the FBI guys trying to find G-Force while Niecy Nash again yells Spanish at them. That's all she does. She has like 3 lines, and she's just like, "Hola, por favor."
Hey, you couldn't find an actual
Puerto Rican.
Latina actor in Hollywood.
No.
Why is this
Well, you
character
did
in the
but
movie, dude?
They're voicing one of the guinea pigs.
Yeah, that's true. They just have her play both roles.
Yeah, they should have. That would be hilarious.
Just have the exact same voice as both roles as well.
Well, it would have been. That's her in every movie.
True. Mira. Cállate.
All right.
She doesn't.
You can make those jokes, but we can't make them.
I'm just saying, she doesn't get jobs on her acting ability.
No, she
She's
doesn't.
an Oscar winner. She gets her jobs the same way that Eva Mendes gets all of her jobs.
Yeah.
Humongous assets.
Talent.
Darwin and Hurley make their way to Blaster and Juarez, and we're treated to some more hilarity as Hurley sits on a sprinkler and is shot through the air, complete with a slide whistle as he flies through the air.
I think I just wanted to showcase their wet guinea pig hair technology again
Yeah.
in the special effects department.
We're going to get more of it when Juarez and Blast... Never mind.
God damn it.
Just some guinea pig back shots.
Oh, my God.
They make their way past some dogs while running inside of a tire from a tire swing. And guess what? Another Black Eyed Peas song starts playing, reminding us that the warm embrace of death is only a few carefully placed knife cuts to the wrist away. Man, slowly drifting away in a bathtub sounds so much better than finishing this movie, doesn't it?
What if the last thing you hear, though, is just the Black Eyed Peas playing
got
in
a
loop on your
feeling.
head?
It's gonna be a great night. Oh, God. The tire starts going faster and faster till they start slamming into each other, and Hurley makes a joke about his butt or whatever, putting his ass on his head.
The joke that they
Then
used in the Reno 911 movie.
And they slam into a light pole. Back in the pet shop, Niecy Nash screams some more Spanish at Ben and his assistant, where they find out that the guinea pigs are gone.
I just want to point out how ludicrous it is that 3 dogs wouldn't chase a random tire rolling down the sidewalk.
I feel like they'd chase that more than they would chase
Yeah.
the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
They'd at least go check it out.
Yeah,
The dog
what the
chases
hell
her
is
own
this?
tail, dude. She'd definitely chase that tire.
And one of those was a terrier, so it would totally be chasing
It's
anything.
inconspicuous, man. They're, who knows? Who knows what's inside that tire? Might as well just all hang out unchained in the front
Yeah,
yard
in
together.
a yard.
In an unfenced yard, yeah.
Like I said, as far as I know, Niecy Nash is not Hispanic in any way whatsoever, but never mind. I'm going to steer
We'll
clear of
adopt
it
her, though.
completely. We cut to that delightful future serial killer that we met earlier, tormenting Blaster by strapping him into a remote control car before driving him through an obstacle course of army men and blocks on the floor, then driving him off of a ramp over a bunch of toy cars while flash bulbs go off and Blaster does crazy tricks in the air.
While spouting one-liners. You can't forget the one-liners.
Yeah.
I tried not to write those down because
I'm the rodent Jeff Gordon. This is one of them where it just feels like they just had him say a bunch of lines and then they just
just
threw
put
him
him in
in
later
every
on.
single shot he's
Hey,
in.
say something funny. That's what he said.
Yeah.
You
You're-
know
you're-
what I'm about, bro.
You were a guinea pig strapped to a toy car. Say something funny.
This seems like it should be illegal, but I'm into it.
Sid's mom yells for him to take the trash out, so he just casually stomps Blaster to death and throws him into a garbage bag to put with his other victims. No, wait. Blaster modifies the remote control car so he can drive it himself, and he speeds down the stairs outside where he rescues Juarez from her tea party with that little girl. He's like dressing her up. During all this, Blaster flirts with her, and they tie a rope around the psycho kid's legs while he tries to bash them to death with a recycling bin, and they escape. Another one-note character, and that note is pretty fucked up. Just smashing them with it. I mean, he's trying to capture them.
Yeah.
But I feel like he flips it at one point and just trying to kill them.
He's just trying to bash them to death.
At a bakery of some sort, Hurley gets crazy excited about eating cake, which becomes his whole character motivation for the rest of the movie. And Darwin spots a Saberling coffee maker, which he gets to work dismantling. That's all he does from here on out is try to eat cake. Whole rest of the movie.
The cake is a
Fart, cake. Cake, fart.
Cake fart.
When he tries to disable the cluster storm chip, it causes the coffee maker to come to life like a transformer and shoots coffee beans at them before shooting rotating blades and lasers. How would it have enough power to shoot lasers? Darwin attacks the robot while yelling, "Yippee-ki-yay, coffee maker!" Then he leads it into some oncoming traffic, and unfortunately he's not run over, but the coffee maker's run over. Just all of them get run over. That's how the movie should have ended. Just FBI guys just like slam into that hamster ball thing at the end.
Oh, shoot.
Hurley and Darwin put the coffee maker on a skateboard and they head to Ben's house where they meet up with Blaster and Juarez. Ben asks where Speckles is and Darwin delivers the news that he had to go shoot Bad Lieutenant Port of Call New Orleans with Werner Herzog. It's like sandwiched in between, so it's like G-Force, Port of Call, New Orleans, and then Astro Boy. That's Nick's 2009.
Wow. Whose guinea pigs are these?
Ben is devastated and blames himself before telling them that they're not genetically engineered or super beings of any kind, but rather just adopted from various locations. They're all sad to find out that they're not special, and we're all wondering how no one else on Earth ever managed to get guinea pigs to do incredible things, since apparently all of them can do it. Any one of them. They could just start talking and driving cars and shit. Darwin is shocked to find out that he was the runt of the litter and heads off to mope for a while. Hurley reassures him, and he realizes he is in fact special after a 3-second pep talk. That's how these kid movies are always like, you know what? You're right. That one sentence was good enough for me to get my confidence back. And he tells the G-Force that Ben was right to not tell them so they'd all believe in themselves. I guess that's how that works. If guinea pigs believe in themselves, they can do anything. So take that guinea pig out, put it in a race simulator, be able to drive. We find out that Blaster graduated from West Point.
Corresponding class.
Yeah. It was all online.
Never mind.
And he's not
When
in
he
the
asks-
military, so, you know.
When he asks Juarez how many hours she's put into the simulator game we saw earlier, she says, 200,000. That's only like 23 years, so it feels legit.
They have a lifespan of 5 to 6 years, by the way.
Yeah. Hurley says he helped with the tire thing, so he's also special. And Darwin says it's time to get back to work and save the day. And G-Force is back, baby. They're all together again.
Almost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, aside from that
Says
one
Speckles,
smushed one, yeah. That one didn't count anyway. He wasn't even a G. He was a M. Now he's a pile of bones and guts.
Act 3. Time to resolve some shit.
G-Force explained to Ben that once Cluster Storm comes online, every Saber product on Earth will come to life and try to kill everyone, while Hurley falls into a pizza box and eats a slice. Fat people funny. There was a Zach Galifianakis joke that I thought was funny. He's like, does this suit make me look fatter?
Probably improv.
Yeah.
I do like that, like, for once, Zach Galifianakis plays, like, a not complete moron.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that it's his choice to always play morons. It's just kind of like, oh, well, he's the non-traditional, not handsome guy, so he's kind of chunky, so let's just make him be the punchline in every movie.
Juarez says Cluster Storm comes online in 30 minutes. It's like daylight outside, and then it comes online in the middle of the night at this place.
Yeah.
It's winter, so, you know, it gets dark.
But they're like in the middle of the city somewhere in California, like San Francisco, I think, based on what they're...
It's Los Angeles.
Okay, so get anywhere in Los Angeles in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Try it. Anyway, she said it comes online in 30 minutes, and Hurley pops out of the pizza box long enough to suggest that they use the worm virus thing on the PDA to infect Saber's mainframe.
The one time he says something smart.
Yeah, but it's also really dumb, as we pointed out. But it works, so...
Yeah.
G-Force suit up, and Ben reveals a hamster wheel rat mobile of some sort that can somehow drive 60 miles an hour that all the guinea pigs know all of the controls to already somehow. It's worth noting that that's obviously in the middle of the afternoon, but in 30 minutes when Cluster Storm launches, it'll be dead of night. Suddenly, the feds arrive and knock on the door, which reveals that Ben lives in a shipping container. G-Force busts through the window of the Ratmobile, and the FBI give chase in an SUV that struggles to keep up with the hamster ball car. But I don't understand how either of them, like, the hamster ball can go 60 miles an hour, so why are these SUVs even able to keep up with it in this heavy city traffic?
Why doesn't it just drive under other cars?
Or just go onto a sidewalk or something, and where the SUVs can't drive. You got to have a dumb car chase, like The Rock.
I mean, this is a Bruckheimer movie, so. Yeah. Now, I will say that this is way less shaky than that Rock car chase.
Yeah, somehow. Probably because those was CG rats in a ball, so they...
Super smooth.
Hurley farts in the hamster ball, which clouds the entire thing, since I guess we needed to be reminded he was there, and we've gone way too long without a fart joke. The balls unlock from each other, and we watch a very Bruckheimer car chase involving 3 FBI SUVs chasing rodents for the next hour or so. Feels like. Darwin uses a rotating blade to pop the tire of one SUV, but that doesn't really matter since the FBI agents follow the hamster ball over a ramp on the back of a truck and slam into a mobile meth RV.
I love the same thing. I was like,
what was the point of cutting the tire if they were just going to drive over the ramp and crash?
No
anyway?
fucking idea.
Yeah, no, fuck. They did that shot. And then they also filmed the other shot of the actual car crashing, and they had to edit it so they include both of them because they didn't want to waste money on the CG they spent doing the cutting the tire gag.
I do kind of wonder if maybe the tire gag was in the fireworks scene because that's the only thing that makes sense for what happens to that SUV.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Take it up with whoever the fuck was that editor that did it.
Guy from The Abyss.
Yeah, his work cut out for him.
Yeah, poor guy. He's like, I gotta fit this shit together somehow.
You did what? You flipped onto a RV? Why? Then they go through a fireworks show? What? Is it the 4th of July?
Yeah. I guess. That would also be like, okay, so if it's the 4th of July, then it's the longest days of the year.
Yep.
And somehow the middle of the afternoon becomes night within 30 minutes.
Within 30 minutes, yep.
Yeah. Blaster rolls under a semi-truck and evades another SUV, which seems like something all of them could do, but whatever. They then lead the other FBI SUV to a fair where they crash into a parking lot filled with fireworks, and one agent says, I want to flatten this son of a varmint, before they somehow flip their SUV as well on a completely flat parking lot, as we've said. Then the guinea pigs...
I think it was that scene. I think it was like them cutting the tire, but they just put it in earlier for some reason, probably to have this stupid scene we're about to see.
Then Then the guinea pigs slow-mo fly through the air while a firework display of an American flag goes off behind them, and everyone cheers for the guinea pigs. So I wish we could say this is the stupidest thing we've seen on the show, but sadly, I'm not even sure if it would crack the top 10 at this point. But there were some nice John Woo fire sparks.
Yeah.
Showering
very
down.
John Woo-esque. Yeah. We have seen some stupid shit on this show.
Although the whole time I think Fortuna is playing too for some reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That opera.
Yes.
That doesn't fit at all.
Doesn't fit at all.
Like you couldn't fit another pop song in there. Like,
I got a feeling.
yeah, that would have worked
Again?
better for somehow.
God damn it.
Let's get it started. And yeah.
Throw a Nicki Minaj song in there
Just
or whatever.
throw
was
in my
popular
humps
in
on top of it.
I got a wet ass pussy. Is it Cardi B? No? Oh, yeah, she wasn't around back then. My bad.
No, she was stripping
not
back
yet.
then and robbing people. Well, over at Leonard Saber's house, it's the dead of night, and there's no longer any security whatsoever, so the G-Force just roll up right in and go through a vent. Darwin tells Blaster that Juarez is into him, so hopefully we get a post-credit scene of two guinea pigs slamming whatever they slam together to make a baby special agents. Gonna use some G-Force on her G-spot, if you know what I'm saying. They're rodents, presumably. They all the time.
Yeah. True.
Anyway, all this stuff happens while they try to stuff Hurley's fat ass into the vent, and shockingly, he doesn't fart in their faces. Inside, Saber talks to some sort of SHIELD-style World Security Council or something on a screen, and they prepare to launch Cluster Storm. In the vents, G-Force jump down a shaft, and Darwin tells Hurley, the guinea pig who has done nothing but eat, fart, and act stupid in every moment he's been on screen, that they're all depending on him for their escape and to not leave the spot they are leaving him in. But, of course, he smells cake and leaves 5 seconds later. G-Force make their way to a network core for Saberling Enterprises, which I guess is kept inside this house rather than like at an office or a server farm somewhere, or it would be overseas in the cloud nowadays in offsite.
You know how the CEOs keep the servers in their basement of their house?
Oh, yeah, dude. The
For the
Clintons, dude.
largest appliance manufacturer in the world. God damn it.
They discover a booby trap trip line attached to a grenade, and they just walk under it. Did he booby trap his own house?
Yeah.
I was
God damn, May keeps stealing from me.
Was it set
Was
up
this
by
Speckles or something?
Yeah, was it set up by Speckles to stop anybody?
But even then, like, he would know they could just walk right under it.
Unless it's
I
to
don't think
stop
he was
a human
in
from going in
counting-
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a human?
But at
But
the
then
same
it's like
time,
you
you would
blow
think
up
he
your
would
server.
expect that G-Force would stop him rather than...
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you blow up your server. Doesn't that defeat the whole fucking purpose?
Saber activates Cluster Storm by pushing a button on a coffee maker. And all the satellites, I mean, they had that coffee maker 3D model, so I guess...
Yeah, it was rendered already, so they just kind
Yeah.
of keep using it over and over.
All
and
the
over.
satellites orbiting the Earth come online. Hurley somehow gets trapped in a microwave, which has cake in it for some reason, in an abandoned kitchen. Nobody microwaves cake, so I don't know why it was there.
What? You don't
say it
microwave
was-
your cake?
Saber was leaving it in there for later. You know, he didn't want
Yeah.
flies to land
Yeah,
on it. He wanted
dude.
mooch to land on it. You know?
It warms it up and it keeps it fresh.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, he gets trapped in a microwave, which sadly doesn't turn on, and we cut to thousands of household appliances coming to life inside stores, which somehow group together like Voltron and start attacking people. Did this exact same thing happen in Terminator or Transformers? Exactly.
I think so. Yeah.
Was it the first one or was it the second one? I can't remember
I
which
think
one.
the first one, right? They had that little robot that infects everything.
Yeah,
So it's turning
that
blenders
somehow
into
looks like
robots.
a woman.
I
Oh,
think
boy,
they're all
does
the
it.
same movie, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
I've only seen the first two, so it's in one
Same.
of those two. The FBI, the feds, bust through Saber's gate 5 seconds later and surround the house. Why are they there?
Because the guinea pigs are there. They're there to bust the guinea pigs, not Saber.
They're just, you know, they just were parked down the block, and as soon as the appliances came online, they were like, oh,
Yeah.
I know where this is coming from. His house.
The microwave, that sadly isn't full of liquid Hurley sloshing around, interrupts G-Force from climbing into the mainframe. So they fight it for a bit before freeing Hurley, and the microwave walks over the tripwire, causing it to explode. It's also like shooting taser, like plasma out of a toaster.
Yeah, it's part toaster now. You know, it's got a toaster part and a blender part.
Darwin
got a vibrator as one arm.
Yeah. Darwin's thrown directly into a vent leading to the mainframe, which is then covered up by the debris. Upstairs, Saber and the FBI fight sentient appliances, and it's revealed that Saber has no idea that this is going to happen. I thought he did.
He knew that they were going to come online and work together,
I guess.
but he didn't know that they were going to attack people or anything like that.
Darwin yells through a microwave door at Hurley for leaving his post and says he thought he could depend on him. So I guess Darwin is pretty stupid. Ben and Marcy.
Why would you think that you would depend on that guy?
Yeah, it's his family. It's his brother. Ben and Marcy, which I guess is his assistant's name, though I don't recall hearing her name at once up to this point, arrive on scene at Saber's house and just stroll into an active crime scene. No sweat, no security, but just...
Yeah, what happened to the guys with dogs? And
yeah, they're all
people
gone
patrolling
on the actual
everything.
night that things are happening.
Yeah. They were all
they're
there
all guarding
just
the
because...
president's party down the river or whatever in Book of Secrets.
Yeah.
You could just
They
swim
were
into.
like, so why was the security so high when they had party guests, but no security whatsoever when it's just the
normal
CEO
night,
by himself
Yeah.
in the house?
Ben bursts into a truck where Killian is interrogating Saber and says that G-Force went in to shut down the server. Inside the computer mainframe, Darwin is shocked to find that, get this, Speckles is alive, and he was secretly behind the whole plan.
Dun, dun, dun.
I was like, I hadn't seen the movie, and I predicted that as immediately as soon as he said, nothing happens inside this house without me knowing it. Trust me, or something like that.
Yeah.
As soon as he said that, I was like, oh, he's the bad guy.
Yeah, ripping off Mission Impossible. I guess I don't know. I can't remember. Wasn't there a traitor in Mission Impossible?
Which one?
John Voight, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah, that one was done much better than this.
Speckles says that he hid in a soup can and rode all the way to the city dump, and it was stinky. Speckles then reveals he was Mr. Yanshu all along, and that Yanshu means mole somewhere in the Far East, since it was critical to tell us that.
Some nondescript Far East country.
Speckles says he created an army of robotic appliances, and they created an army of giant electromagnetic nodes capable of pulling down all the space junk orbiting the planet and driving every human underground. Some cagey. I don't remember how he said it.
Very cagey.
Very cagey. That's pretty.
Nodes. Darwin is shocked that the mole betrayed them, and Speckles says that no one loves moles and they only want to exterminate them. We then cut to a flashback with a ton of exterminators in a field wasting moles with gas, and get a nice little casting couch POV shot from crotch level of Speckles' dad saying, "Son, if you ever get the chance to bring mankind to its knees, do it."
Why would any... What? Never mind. God.
Speckles straps himself into his chair and then hits a button which causes the mainframe to come to life like all the other robots we've seen, as Speckles says, "Here we go." I don't remember how he said it. I'm
Yeah,
just trying to
something
be
like that.
Speckles
Something along
cagey.
those lines.
G-Force and Hurley climb on board as Speckles says, "Look out, I'm feeling 10 feet tall." And he starts blasting humans with a laser gun of some sort. So I guess I should clarify, he starts blasting at humans since no one dies in a PG film. Sorry, Vince.
I was really hoping.
Speckles
There was going to be... It seemed like there was going to be a lot of murders there.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That-
Nope.
I
crashing
do think
stuff
there
from
are a
orbit.
lot of them off screen.
Yeah, I mean, the argument can be made that he killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
You know.
It'd be like the biggest body count in any of the movies.
Yeah.
He's just crashing random space junk
Yeah.
all over Earth.
yeah,
Speckles triggers something that starts pulling space junk from around the Earth, and he says, just like humans, bringing guns to a space junk fight. Darwin confronts Speckles and says, I have no quarrel with you, but humanity must pay. Speckles unleashes some other wacky blade-spinning robot on Darwin, which knocks him off Speckles' platform, causing Darwin to drop the virus-infected PDA. Blaster and Juarez try to grab it, but can't, so Mooch takes off after it. Hurley saves Darwin from falling, then sacrifices himself for Darwin by using his fatness to pull Darwin back up onto the platform above. It was useful.
Yeah, he's fat.
Counterweight. Blaster tries to save Hurley before he falls to his death, but we cut away to Speckles grabbing the FBI truck containing Ben and the others using the Voltron thing he's driving. It's a Megazord.
Whatever the fuck
Darwin
that thing is.
tries to reason with Speckles, saying if he keeps doing this, he's no better than humans who destroyed his home and killed his family. And Speckles says that's the whole point, since he lost his family. But Darwin says, no, you're wrong. We're your family. And then Speckles sees Ben and Marcy inside the truck and yells, oh no, what have I done? What have I done?
That was spot on, man.
That was spot on. Holy shit.
Yeah. Speckles tries to shut down.
That's all it takes for him to throw out this plan that he's probably been concocting for years.
Yep.
To betray all of his family, friends and everything.
He sees that open mouth girl and changes his ways.
Oh, I could put it in there. Sorry. Cut that.
Speckles tries to shut down Cluster Form, but he's locked out of his own program and says, it's too late, Darwin. I can't stop it. Suddenly, the fly appears.
He was just controlling everything.
Yeah, he can't lock it. Maybe he built a failsafe in to prevent his own guilty conscience from letting him stop it.
I guess.
Suddenly, the fly appears with the PDA, and Darwin places it in the machine, causing it all to malfunction, and all the machines start to fall apart. Juarez saves Speckles and Darwin on a parachute as the Voltron falls to the ground, and Darwin finds Blaster struggling to get a metal box off Hurley on the ground. They all think he's dead, and Darwin says he's proud to be his brother. Hurley wakes up when he smells cake and asks if Darwin meant what he said, and when Darwin says he did, Hurley hugs him and says they can road trip to Vegas together. Then Hurley eats the cake and farts or whatever, and we cut to sometime in the future. They're all having a barbecue with Coronas.
The Rock shows up.
You know what it's about? Family.
Yeah, I mean, Memphis has a shitty younger brother in that movie, so
True.
Early's the shitty brother in this one. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, James Caan,
All
though.
fit together.
James Caan's not invited.
Scott Conn.
Scott Caan's not invited.
Don't besmirch James Caan. He's
Yeah.
actually a good actor.
We see Darwin training Hurley to join G-Force, and then the new recruits arrive in the form of Steve Buscemi, the hamster, and some brain-dead mice. So glad there isn't a sequel to this thing.
Yeah, thank God.
Why would they bring them in? The director of the FBI calls to let the guinea pigs know that Saber and Speckles are working together to recall and destroy all of the machines. He says there's like 100 and some odd thousand more to go, so moles don't live that long either, so I'm assuming he's just going to die now. It's his life's work to disinfect all these machines.
I hope so.
You couldn't just crush them.
Speckles says he plans to rejoin the team when he's done dismantling all the Saberling products, if they'll have him. It's probably best to ignore the fact that he's responsible for hundreds, if not thousands, of off-screen deaths worldwide. The director, imagine how many planes came alive and just immediately crashed.
They all and then flew into Twin Towers and stuff.
Oh my
around
God.
I mean, other buildings. You know.
Oh, shit.
The director says Killian has been reassigned to the South Pole. Their funding has been restored, and they've all been named special agents for the FBI. And Ben won the lottery, and he bet on a sports game that made him a ton of money.
And they caught Big Fate with his crack pipe.
Yeah, and he's got his job back at the FBI.
God damn it.
See, it fits in this movie because this is a kid's movie, and it's all dumb.
That's true. Yeah.
just to do a dumb tie up,
Just a
happy
nice
ending.
bow at the end.
It doesn't fit in Port of Call, New Orleans.
Most
Bad
fucked up
Lieutenant.
movie ever.
Just have a happy ending for everybody.
Yeah. All 3 movies that Nick Cage did in 2009 all have a nice, like, simple conclusion like this. All 3 of them. 2 of them are cartoons, but whatever.
I would not picture the Werner Herzog movie having that as being one of those 3.
No.
Happy ending, everything.
It's very jarring.
We need
For
to
the
wrap
crack
this movie
smoking
up.
dirty detective. We cut to the credits, which feature the guinea pigs and roaches and Bucky and the mice all dancing to a Flow Rider song before cutting back and playing another Black Eyed Peas song. I don't know.
A feeling.
I don't know if anything else happens because I wasn't about to sit through the 12th Black Eyed Peas song in this dumpster fire. The end. Don't know if there's a post credits. I don't care.
I feel like there was something there, but
I don't know. I bounced right after it.
I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Thankfully,
I'm out.
there shouldn't be a sequel because they'd all be dead by now since it's been over 15 years since this movie came out. And guinea pigs only
think-
live like 5 years.
If it would have made about $50 million more than it did, I think we would have gotten a sequel. But
Yeah.
I don't think that Speckles would have been in the sequel because that would have opened up all sorts of like problems, you know?
Yeah.
For a non-genetically enhanced mole, Speckles is an off-the-chart hacker. I mean, think about it. He hacked into Saber's computers and the government without breaking a sweat. Or whatever moles do. And convinced some of the richest, most influential people in the world that he was some guy named Mr. Yanshu. I mean, that's a pretty big task for such a small rodent. If only Saber and his cronies would have been using Surfshark, this might have all been avoided. Surfshark offers 24/7 malware protection, and they update their virus database every 3 hours, so you can make sure no moles are tunneling into any of your connected devices. Secure your digital life today by heading over to surfshark.deals/onecagepod and make sure to enter our promo code OneCagePod to save 83% and get 3 extra months for free to protect yourself from evil moles that inexplicably talk like Pokey from the Gumby Show.
I don't do cages! Speckles, let go!
We have a couple of questions before we move on.
I'm not going to ask very many questions because why bother? But how did the map turning red tell Darwin that Saber planned to kill people with the machines? How did that clue him into that?
Red mean bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Or he read it and we didn't get to see it. We just saw the visual aid of the red painting the map, and he actually saw it saying it.
That's the only thing that I could think. But at the same time, then why would Saber have access to that? Because Saber doesn't know
doesn't
about
know
that
about
part
it,
of the
yeah.
plan. So,
And it was under the file named cluster form, which Saber definitely knows about. He refers to it as such. Maybe he did know it. He's just playing dumb.
okay. Well, I mean, that would work.
Yeah.
I mean, what's if he knew about it? What was his plan anyway? Like he would have to play dumb because.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
then
like,
again,
he
wouldn't-
yells
he
at
wouldn't-
Yanshu about it being a,
Yeah, there's no way he would go along with it because it would just ruin him. Like there's no reason for him to want to exterminate everybody.
I mean, he's a former arms dealer. They're all bad, right?
It's
Like-
a former arms dealer. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what
a
they said
former
at the
arms
beginning.
dealer,
Yeah, but they care about money and profit, and killing everybody on the planet doesn't seem to be.
Exactly, right?
It would drive a bunch of profit.
Yeah. If the guinea pigs need special devices to speak to humans, how do they speak to the fly?
All animals can communicate with each other.
Oh,
They
Yeah,
share
yeah, it's that
universal
rule.
language.
Every movie that has talking animals abides by that rule.
And the fly doesn't talk. He just makes noises the whole time.
He kind of talks, but it's high pitched. Yeah,
That's
I wonder what actor they got to play the fly.
I saw it in the
I
credits,
saw it in
but
there too. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Probably D. Bradley Baker again. They get him to play random animals and everything.
How exactly would Blaster have been able to graduate from West Point through a correspondence program? Don't you need to do some hands-on things for West Point? Is it all
I'm
just
pretty
tests?
sure you have to be in the military too.
Okay,
I
so
don't think they let civilians in,
yeah.
do they?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. So I made a joke. It actually was D. Bradley Baker that played Mitch. Not even kidding.
Hey, dude, you got an autograph of
So
Mooch.
I got to meet Mooch this last weekend.
You
He was
should
probably
have
sitting
brought
there
in a
thinking,
picture
like-
of the fly.
He's
If
probably
I'd
sitting
known
there thinking,
about
like, does this guy's not going to ask me about Mooch? Like, of all my roles, I figured this guy would know
All
about
the
Mooch.
great things I've played over the years. That's my most proud.
I mean, he
Holy
played Morris in Shang-Chi, the wingless, faceless, flying, furry butt thing. He does the voice of that. He had a picture of it on his thing of 8x10s that you can get.
That's
signed.
hilarious.
God.
I asked him about it when I met him at Celebration. I was like, "Where's your Morris thing?" Because they only had Star Wars characters to sign, basically. He's like, a surprising amount of people actually like Morris and want me to sign Morris stuff.
So what was with the tripwire? Was that? I mean, it had to be Speckles, right? But why would he want something to explode outside of the server? Why is it for humans and not for his counterparts in G-Force? Why is it there at all?
Contractually obligated explosions need to be in the movie.
Yeah, that has to be the only reason.
Oh, I mean, you have to have a way for them to defeat this sentient microwave that somehow climbed through the air vent down to them.
And didn't microwave Hurley the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I wish. Would have been so cool. That's an explosion I wish I would have seen.
Yeah, dude, he just explodes
big
into
red-
a pink mist.
Then my final question that I felt like bothering to write down. Why was the way to activate Clusterstorm just a button on a coffee machine?
Yeah.
Why?
I guess it could be anything since they're all supposed to be linked technically.
True.
And they talked about the coffee machine multiple times so people would recognize it.
True.
It makes no fucking sense. Why would
I
it
mean,
be a
if it's
keystroke
going
or a
off of-
computer or something that would turn it
Yeah.
on?
If he's
Button
going
on
off
a
of him
coffee
trying to
machine.
do it as a demonstration to be like, look, I'm activating it all from a coffee machine. That's how everything is connected.
Why is he doing all of this behind closed doors and not at
At
a
an
presentation
event.
or
Yeah.
something? He's doing it by himself,
Yeah.
billionaire who is obviously great at marketing because he's the number one appliance dealer would definitely see this as a marketing opportunity and would do it publicly somewhere with a ton of people.
You think in an alternate universe, Charlie Bedell's selling those appliances?
Yes.
Or he might be retired by that point.
You want to buy a
2009.
coffee machine?
It's the latest and greatest.
A mole told me about it.
Why was the chick that sort of looks like the girl from American Beauty even in the movie? Marcy?
I
Gotta
don't
have a
know.
hot chick.
Nothing she does couldn't have just been done by Zach Galifianakis unless they just couldn't get Zach Galifianakis for some scenes.
I feel like there had to be there's a point where he gets taken away by the FBI
Yeah.
to go to the headquarters, and then she has to help G-Force escape. I
Yeah,
felt
but they
there
could
had
have
to be
just not
somebody
written
to do
that and just had it. He
Just
helps them.
G-Force
as-
could have escaped by themselves.
Yeah, like he's
Yeah,
helping them
they
escape
could've got
before
out
the
by
FBI
themselves.
gets him.
There
I
are
just kept
no
thinking about
other
that.
women in the entire movie, so
That's
Penelope Cruz.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, but
They have what's her
the
face
one-
at the pet store.
Oh yeah,
Casey Nash, yeah.
and there's the woman driving the car at the very beginning.
Yeah,
that-
the hot chick
that,
driving the car at the beginning
that Darwin jumps on the tire.
with Richard Gere.
This is like a theme in these Brett Kramer movies,
Yes.
like The Rock.
Why?
There's like
I don't think women exist, so let's just not put them in this.
Or we just have him play like a silent character that is only there for reactionary shots.
or is
Not
only
one
there to be a love interest.
FBI agent could have been a female.
No,
No,
Are
she
you
would have been
nuts?
like, "What are we doing? These animals talk. That's incredible. We should be using them." And then Job would have been like, "You want to see a magic trick?"
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Lego Batman.
I'm Bojack.
I'm also Bojack Man.
And my other one was like, I guess they're just ignoring that Speckles is a mass murderer, and what happens to Saber? Like, doesn't he go to prison?
You would assume both of them would be in prison for the rest of their lives.
I mean, maybe not Speckles, because no one's going to believe a fucking mole did all of it, but like, G-Force knows and the FBI knows. Why are they working with him?
Why would they have a mole do it? Just have a room full of people dismantling those things, because you would want them out of operation as quickly as possible, not having a tiny fucking rodent doing it one at a time. God damn it.
Maybe they're trying to cover it all up and they're still just pinning it on Saber.
I do feel like it's pretty stupid of us to be like, why? I mean, we're trying to follow the movie logic here, people.
Yeah.
But still, it's a stupid kids movie cartoon thing. But, has to make some sense, right?
Yeah, I think good kids movies tell a great story that's grounded and actually makes sense and like has something to say. This movie has nothing to say at all.
Because kids are entertained by the spectacle of it and all that. You can have that in a good movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The kids will watch either way, really. But there's no reason not to do it if you can also, just make a good movie out of it.
If you can tie in the parents a little bit, you can increase your box office.
Yeah.
Just because they're like, oh, I
parents
didn't hate
actually,
that.
word of mouth is going to be like, parents will actually want to take their kids to see it.
Yeah, exactly. That's Pixar's success, is they make movies for both the parents and the kids. And then those movies grow with those children as well. The stories, the theme and message that they're telling in those movies then goes with the kids as they get older and rewatch it. I couldn't fucking tell you what the theme or point of this story was.
Never underestimate the little guy.
Family.
He was bigger than the rest of them.
Anyways.
Oh, you meant the guinea pigs, not Zach Galifianakis. My bad.
Yeah. He's an honorary guinea pig. Just look at him.
It's time for the trackers.
All right, that leads us over to the Cage curse tracker.
So surprisingly, this had some curses in it, which is broke the streak of nothing. But you'd really only be able to tell if you had subtitles on, like I do with these.
I do kind of wonder if it's just like AI trying to figure out the subtitles, or if they actually like.
I feel like they actually wrote
to
it
say God.
The AI wouldn't have picked this up, I think.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
it would have been
kind of heard it.
gibberish.
Yeah,
because you'll see when AI can't determine what the hell somebody's saying, it'll just say like gibberish.
Yeah,
or like indistinct words.
So
or something
I'm gonna count it just because I think it's funny. But it's two sound bites, and I think they're the exact same sound bite. But it's when he's climbing out of the hole and the Dobermans are there. He goes, "Oh my god!" Or it's more like, "Oh my god!" And then when he's getting crushed by the truck, he goes, "Oh no!" He's both of them. He's like, "Oh no!" And then it's like, "Oh no! Oh my god!" I definitely didn't really hear it the second time, but the subtitle showed it again. So I'm counting it because it's funny.
Yeah.
Or it was almost like it could have been Darwin saying, "Oh my god," like reacting to watching Speckles get crushed. But it's in there, so I'm counting it. Two gods in this kids movie, PG, which broke the streak of all these kids movies not having any curses in it. So that brings our total up to 718 now.
I was hoping we wouldn't go all of these without a curse.
And I think that's the only curse in this whole movie. It's just from that.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. He's the bad guy,
Yeah, he's Nick Cage. He's got a phone in there.
That's true.
I feel like they were just like, hey, react to getting attacked by Dobermans, and that was
Oh my god! Oh fuck! Oh fucking fuck you!
my wang.
My wang! Runtime. This was mercifully 90 minutes. I thought it was 128 or an hour and 28 minutes, so it would have been 88 minutes. But the official tally says 90, so I don't know if that's just including the opening
the
credits and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
They always count the credits.
But 90 minutes, pretty on par with the other cartoons that we've done so far, that are all pretty neat and tidy. I'm actually happy about that because we can blast through these things pretty quickly. That's G-Force, Never on a Tuesday, and the Ant Bully are all like 1, 2, 3 next to each other, which Never on Tuesday was basically a cartoon.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Nudity. We'll just move on. State and Country Tracker.
Technically, they're all nude.
That is true. That's true. Yeah. He's not a naked mole rat. He's a mole, star-nosed mole. State and Country Tracker, we did have Los Angeles specifically written out for the FBI headquarters, so I just figure it's all in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I saw it was shot in, all of those cities that are right around Los Angeles that they shoot in, like Pasadena and Culver City and all that kind of stuff. So
Also, there's at least the shot of the exterminator van has a California plate at the start when Ben exfiltrates him.
yeah.
So I was like, I was surprised if they. I wouldn't be surprised if they I took note of it because I wasn't going to be surprised if they did not mention the state at all in the movie because it doesn't matter. But I guess through other clues you pick up it's LA.
It doesn't really matter, but yeah, they do explicitly state Los Angeles
Yeah.
FBI at one point. So that's exactly where Sean Archer and
Yep.
eventually Castor Troy both worked for a brief period of time with Margaret Cho. So that makes 13 times now in California, which has taken a pretty wide lead from New York, which was neck and neck with it for a long time there. 9 times now to New York. Budget versus gross. This had $150 million budget, but made 292.8. As we say in, pretty much every episode, the Hollywood math, it didn't really make a profit because I remember when this came out, they marketed the shit out of this thing. It was everywhere. So they spent a healthy chunk of what they made on marketing. I mean, the $150 million is definitely going to the effects, the VFX for this thing. But of course, you got Nick Cage, you got Sam Rockwell, Penelope Cruz, a lot of names for this thing. But your live action stars, I'm sure it wasn't nearly as expensive to get Bill Nighy and Zach Galifianakis, Niecy Nash. So I don't know how much of that budget was going to the actors, but I'm assuming 10, 15. That brings our grand total of $1.725.5 billion budget with a $3.882.2 billion gross. We're almost at $4 billion.
Jeez.
For Nick Cage movies. We're not even halfway through, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 4 years already. We're not even halfway through.
Hey, and he keeps pumping them out, baby.
Yeah, I
It's
met,
another-
when I bought those prints for you guys, I was like telling the guy who does them that I'd been watching all the Nick Cage movies with some friends for a podcast. And he's like, God, how many is that? I'm like, I don't know. I got 150 right now, and it just keeps going. It's like,
just
God.
comes out with 7 movies a year.
Yeah.
On our top grossing movies, this is now number 5 on the list, which is pretty crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
The Croods, obviously, way ahead on total gross. But then we had National Treasure Book of Secrets, National Treasure, The Rock, and now G-Force. G-Force made $50 million more than Face Off. Pretty nuts, man.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it was adjusting for inflation. Came out
Yeah.
10 years later,
R-rated
or
film.
more than 10 years. Yeah. They probably were about the same.
As far as ratings, this is our 7th PG film. I feel like every single one of these animated films that we're doing is going to be a PG film. So that'll probably be the end of the PG films after that, I would assume. I don't know how many other family-friendly films Nick Cage has made that we have left on our list, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
You can always do more.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that leads us over to the Nicolas Cage Kill Tracker.
Like we said, nothing on screen, so 0 again. So we're still sitting at 202 for kills, and
But also 50,000.
right. I mean, assumed kills like at least 1.5 billion. No, so 0 for kills. So we're still at 202. He survived, which I kind of wish they would have killed him off. I think that would have been a better ending, but who
Yeah.
am I? Who am I? So 0 death, still sitting at 14 overall.
Kind of a resurrection, if you think about it.
Yeah, they faked us out.
Yeah.
But he wasn't actually brought back from the dead.
Yeah.
He rode in a soup can, and it was
He
stinking.
Sean Beaned it. Faked his death.
Well, this was a real pile of shit. Let's rank this film on the Cageometer.
All right, that leads us over to the most important question. Vince, where does G-Force from 2009 rate on your Cageometer?
Oh God, this is a 2 for me. Even as a kid's movie, this was fucking awful. This is a terrible movie. Give it a 2 out of 10. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, so I'm just leaving it at 2 out of 10. We bitched about it enough. Cage's performance, I'll give him a 7. I think he was one of the only people that brought something to the film. He brought that voice, which fit the character very well. His
Yeah, for
cagey
once
moment-
it actually fit, like when
Yeah.
he does a cartoon voice.
Yeah, and I feel like his cagey moments fit. It's supposed to be. It should have been like a fun, light film, like a funny kids film. So I felt like his cagey moments actually worked in this. Yeah, I mean, Jesus, everybody else was just flat. Dude. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't hard to outshine anybody, and I feel like he was the only one that actually came with purpose and was trying to make his character enjoyable and fit what you want in a kid's film, which is kind of an overtop character sometimes. So yeah, I'll give him a 7. That's it. I'm done with this film.
All right, Nigel, where does G-Force rate on your Cageometer?
Yeah, this one for some reason was like so much harder to watch than even the other crappy animated ones we've just watched. I don't know what it was. It's just, I mean, I guess we've talked about it. I'm not a big fan of the Bruckheimer formula films anyway, and this was like the worst out of any of the ones we've seen. So yeah, it's a 2 for me too, just because there's no way I'd watch it. Like, kids don't even seem like they would like it. My kids weren't into it. It's stupid in the worst way possible and not all that entertaining. The one positive note I can give on it is that the CG looks good. Like the for having a movie made up entirely of CG guinea pigs, they look fine. They're pretty damn good for the time being, and they still look pretty good today. So I'll give them props. The director, who's only done visual effects aside from this movie, did a really good job with the visual effects, and I'm sure that's why he was chosen, because he said this is the first time Disney had done a live action cartoon CG blending thing like this. So I think they picked a good guy, or Jerry Bruckheimer picked a good guy to do it. It's just that the script sucks and the story's dumb and it's not that entertaining for kids, and they just this weird mismatch of like stuff that adults might find funny and stuff that kids might find funny, but neither one is that great. Performances are pretty dull from everybody. It's just forgettable and not, especially with kids movies, there's so many more options you can watch to entertain kids and adults alike, and this is not one of them. For Nicolas Cage, I really enjoyed him in it, actually. Weirdly enough, he disappeared into this role somehow. Maybe it's not that weird because he's not actually playing himself. He's playing a character, and so it's easier to disassociate. But like I said, had we not watched all these Nicolas Cage stuff, I may have not even noticed that it was him until they said it in the credits, because I think he did a good job of being the only one that actually felt like a character instead of just the actors reading lines in a booth. I guess him and Zach Galifianakis. Zach Galifianakis was fine too. I think both of them tried to actually bring some character to it. So I give him an 8 in this one. It's his best animated performance or voice work yet that I've seen, and I think he did a really good job of doing what makes, I guess, bringing a voice to a cartoon character in a successful way. He kind of knew the assignment, did it well, especially when you compare it to some of his other animated stuff. We've said it just kind of sounds like Nick Cage in some of his other ones, but this one he definitely sounded like Speckles the mole to me. So, yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah. The one time it's made sense.
Right.
On my Cageometer, I think I'm going to be a little bit more generous. I think it's, I get the luxury of luxury. I get the luxury of sitting through this thing, going scene by scene by scene, when I do the breakdown and stuff. And I actually enjoyed it more the second time around. It did, it's not great. I'm giving it a 4. Not a great movie, but I feel like it has its moments. I could see where it would be fun to watch as a kid, but I guess your kids didn't enjoy it at all, Nigel. So
maybe when they're a little older, but
maybe I'm imposing myself as a child in there, and not.
I just kind of feel like there's too much live action for at least young kids to really care about it.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's
like
like 7,
10-year-olds
8.
might like it.
Yeah.
But
something like that. I don't know. I ended up enjoying it more. I thought the action for what it was, I mean, it's a bunch of fucking fake guinea pigs jumping around. I thought the action was actually pretty good. I thought the CG was really well done, especially for 2009. I do feel like it holds up after 15 years of seeing much better animated films after this. But I do think it holds up. I felt like they did a pretty good job on all of them, feeling kind of like, I don't know. I mean, they're all pretty flat aside from Cage, but they at least have their own personalities somewhat.
Yeah.
But it's just Tracy Morgan playing Tracy Morgan and Penelope Cruz playing Penelope Cruz and Sam Rockwell giving the flattest performance of his career.
That was so disappointing. Yeah.
Which is sad. But overall, it's not a great movie. It's a 4 in my book. It's not good by any stretch. But I did think that there were redeeming qualities. I thought the cinematography was pretty solid throughout. Mm-hmm. I felt like the color grade, even though it was by Michael Bay-esque, actually fit pretty well for this, because it was almost like a parody of those types of action movies, which is like, having the guy who created that genre be the one who does this parody of that genre actually kind of makes sense. Actually kind of fits. But overall, not great. Wouldn't recommend it. My least favorite of the animated films so far, and we did the Ant Bully, so I don't know.
yeah.
I feel like I gave the Ant Bully a lower score, though. That was mostly because it's ugly as shit.
So.
Yeah, it is.
That's kind of where I came with my rating. It's like I feel like I liked this less than any other ones we watched. And I had to give it a. I think I gave one of them a 3, and I can't remember which one.
Probably the Ant Bully.
But so I was like, I have to come in a little lower. I agree with all you're saying, though. But
the things that are redeeming in this is mostly the visuals.
Yeah,
story is awful. The continuity is terrible. The plot holes are everywhere.
Oh my god, left and right.
But yeah, visually pretty great. I mean, still holds up. For Cage, I'm gonna go ahead and give him a 7. Just same things you guys said. He disappears into the role. This is finally him doing a voice that makes sense for a character. Why did he do that voice for Peggy Sue Got Married? Doesn't make any sense. Makes sense here. Mm-hmm. I did feel like some of the cagey moments kind of pulled me out just a little bit, like the over-the-top pronunciation of certain words. Like, why? Why did he have to polynomial nodes? Like, those pulled me out a little bit, so that brings it down a little bit. But still, I think 7. I don't know. I'm not going to harp anymore on this. It's fucking G-Force. Let's move on.
G-Force.
G-Force. G-Force.
If they would have thrown some of that in, that would have been awesome. There's more War on Echo and G-Force.
That's Will. Yeah, at the end in South Pole.
Yeah. I would have given it a 10 if that was the case.
Here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. These are the cagiest moments of the film.
To
access the information on Darwin's PDA, I have to factor a univariate polynomial over a finite field.
Okay.
Oh! Whoa! Oh no! Oh! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Ah! Oh no! Oh!
Speckles, you're a genius.
I'm a mole. I got a thing for worms. It's working! Look out! I'm feeling 10 feet tall.
Go, go,
No,
go, go,
not
go.
the cage! I don't do cages!
Speckles, let go.
What, you really think I let myself get killed in a garbage truck? Ha! Well, I hid in a soup can, rode it all the way to the city dump.
And it was stinky.
I created an army of robotic appliances, and they created an array of giant electromagnetic nerds. Nerds capable of pulling down all the space junk orbiting the planet and driving every human underground.
That's it for this episode of One Cage at a Time. As always, be sure to drop us an email at onecagepodcast@gmail.com to let us know if we missed anything or hit us up with suggestions to improve the show, comments, compliments, or simply to gush about the mole that is Nicolas Cage. On the 4th day of animated Cagemas, our true love made for us, a film that Nicolas Cage was born to be in since he grew up reading the original Japanese manga that it was based on, because of course he did.
Right. That's
Astro
before
Boy.
anybody read manga.
Yeah,
Of course, he'd be one of the people reading it.
of course, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah. What was Battle of the Gargantuans or whatever the hell that movie was that he talked about? Yeah. Nick Cage is a deep cuts kind of guy.
Yeah, he is.
Though I feel like Astro Boy was pretty popular in Japan when it became
Yeah.
a cartoon for a while there. But yeah. Anyways, Nick plays a genius scientist who inadvertently kills his only son in the first scene of the movie, pretty much, in an experiment gone wrong, before resurrecting him in the form of a superpowered robot who struggles to find his place in a dystopian future where humans treat robots like garbage they throw away on a dying planet Earth, while they all live carefree on a floating utopia in the sky. I feel like Astro Boy was one of the first stories that kind of came up with this idea. Elysium and stuff like that, like, stole this idea. Wall-E, Mega Man. Yeah. I think Mega Man was based directly on Astro Boy.
Yeah, I have.
But, like, it's been around since, I feel like it was the 80s that they first came out with the manga. Way back when. So, anyways, it's a pretty dark story. But anyways, we'll suffer through it like we have with all of these animated films.
Wow.
And
And the manga started in the 50s.
50s. Wow.
Yeah, the
Okay.
cartoon came out in the 60s.
Holy
So,
Yeah, he definitely
been
was like
around for a
watching and
minute.
reading this when he was a kid.
yeah.
damn.
Well, anyways, make sure to check it out wherever fine films are sold or on your streaming service of choice. Until then, we'll say goodbye the way we do each and every episode with our Nicolas Cage, like, just fighting a burp through that entire thing.
Let it out, Hurley.
Let it out, hurt. Yeah. God damn it.
Anyway, until then, we'll say goodbye the way we do each and every episode with our Nicolas Cage quote of the film.
I'd follow you into a snarling pack of Dobermans. Oh, wait. I already have.
Thanks for listening to One Cage at a Time. Visit us online at onecageatatime.com or follow us on the social media platform of your choice for more Nicolas Cage goodness. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you really like the show, become a member of our Patreon where you can download unedited and ad-free episodes, as well as listen to our follow-up show, Back Into the Cage, where we re-examine each movie to discuss what we missed the first time around, answer listener questions, and wax poetic about the man, the myth, the legend that is Nicolas Cage.
Hurley Billy, don't point that thing at me. It might go off.